Guys, yesterday we had the FOMC meeting. I don't care about news, and we actually literally shorted Bitcoin a couple of hours before the announcement of no change in the interest rate. We can clearly see that I posted a video yesterday saying I shorted Bitcoin before the FOMC meeting, and actually that was an idea we made and came up with when Bitcoin was actually trading, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday on Tuesday, where we said that if Bitcoin goes higher, we got the easy and simple strategy where we always get Bitcoin like giving us liquidity, then taking out the liquidity, expanding well below the range we've formed, and then what happens usually is that we go back, clear the liquidity, hit the POC of that general zone, and then we get the drop. Again, guys, for those that don't know, I actually have a free playlist literally telling you guys how I actually trade this strategy. I do think it is one of these videos, maybe this one, how I always short the top on Bitcoin. That was basically the same exact idea. I didn't need to think about the bull market or bear market, know where Bitcoin is going. All I need is actually just 7 days worth of price action, and then we took a strategy that made us actually a good amount of money taking this short trade, even though Bitcoin remains to be bullish. Even though I also, again guys, I do have longs on my own. I got this one from 66.8. So I'm not saying just because I took a little simple scalping strategy, Bitcoin is all of a sudden, I guess, bearish. No, Bitcoin is obviously on the higher time frame. I remain to be saying the same thing, which is Bitcoin is more likely to go to 80k, for example, than go to 60k. Bitcoin is actually obviously still holding up pretty well with the uptrend we've made. And I told you guys, like, if you have a long, especially somewhere from well below 73 72k, you don't need to be thinking about closing it again, because Bitcoin is obviously higher and above every single previous important resistance area. And for me, honestly, even if Bitcoin drops to like 73k, I do have a long setup prepared for potentially taking it today or either tomorrow. Now, if Bitcoin doesn't drop, I'm more than well happy and satisfied with the amount of money we've made. And if Bitcoin actually like goes back above 78k, we may then be waiting for 80k. Again, I repeat, guys, I'm still expecting higher. Mathematically, probabilistically, Bitcoin is more likely to go to 80k. And if we clear 80 or even like go above 78, hit 80, and then don't lose 78k again, we may then retest 80, reapproach 80, and then go to 88. So I'm not saying I'm expecting this. I'm not saying Bitcoin cannot drop. All I'm saying is that right now, factually, Bitcoin is not giving us any bearish sign on the higher time frame. However, I got this little scalpy short just because I don't know what I don't know. So if Bitcoin just decides to hold this entry, doesn't actually stop me out in profit, and Bitcoin just keeps on dropping, we may obviously see Bitcoin drop and drop and drop. We then become bearish, and then maybe we get that drop. So that's why I try to not close any profitable trade too early, guys, whether it's a short or a long. Again, guys, on weeks we do have this ability and feature where we can keep the longs and shorts open. We can have multiple ones, and that is something that's too nice, to be honest. If you want to actually trade on weeks, I do have the link in the description, guys. But right now, let's cover the closest next long and also the closest, I'd say, next short on Bitcoin. Again, I do have a long and a short on the lower time frame, but primarily an important bigger one, which is the long if we get a larger drop. So right now on the lower time frame, an obvious, I guess, potential scalp short and long would be just going on a little local time frame and then waiting for the high of the day to be taken out with the NY session opening, and then if we fake out like 76.7, then go back below it. This is the lowest hanging fruit in terms of actually taking the easy scalpy strategy. I also have a video about this, which is like the one I got in the free trading course. This exact video, the daily 5-minute scalping strategy. We wait for the NY to open, we see the high, obviously with some other confluence, not just because it's the high, and then we get the fake out for a short. And also vice versa, we do have the low of today also sitting at around, I'd say that was yesterday technically, but I'd prefer this to be taken out. So I'd say 74.8 is the level to look for a potential scalpy long. That is the long for you, that is the short for you. However, these are just little trades that I'm looking for. However, The better bigger trade would be obviously on a higher time frame scale if Bitcoin doesn't go higher and doesn't break 78. If it drops to 73, keyword if, so I have no idea, but if it does, then obviously we do have the daily at 73.7, these lows not being taken out, and most importantly we do have this important, very critical and crucial anchored view up, basically just representing the whole uptrend that was started. So I would love for Bitcoin, if it was to actually drop and if it wants to actually then go back to 80, I would love to catch myself along for then approaching 80 with a new fresh long. That is the game plan for today. If Bitcoin drops further, I'll be looking to buy until proven otherwise, guys.